Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are a magazine as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of this program. On pretty hot. I don't think we hit 90 today, and it's breezy. It's New Orleans, as Drew Brees just proclaimed, and it's New Orleans in mid-May. 88 degrees right now. That's pretty brutal. 88 ain't nice. What's the feels like? I guess because of the breeze, feels like 86. That makes sense. Starting tomorrow for about, the next 4 or 5 days straight, at least through the weekend, a scorcher. We'll be getting into the low 90s each and every day for like the next 4 or 5 days. And the feels like temperature could approach or even exceed 100 degrees. You know what that means, huh? Agua, H2O, water. And stay inside like, 10 a.m. to 2 or 3, if you can. Anyway, summer's here, New Orleans. No, there is a nice breeze, like a pretty serious wind blowing out there, making it more bearable. Hey, the phone number, 766-9480. That's how you dial us up. 766-9480 is the phone number. Hey, our Humane May fundraiser's going on, halfway through May. Literally, it's May 14th. Tomorrow will be halfway through the month. We've raised about $1,300, something like that. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May. And so far, we've got about $1,300 raised. So we should be at like $4,800, $4,900, $5,000 right now by tomorrow. So we're like, I don't know, almost like 4 times behind, pacing at like 25, 30% of where we should be right now. Like $1,400 raised. That's it. And we're trying to raise $10,000. So we've got to raise like $8,600 in the next 2 weeks. And then you figure I'm not on the radio on Saturday and Sunday, so it's not top of mind interest. You're not listening or watching every day. You're catching just a few minutes every other day or every few days, whatever. Please donate. If you have a cat or a dog or kitten or puppy, any kind of pets, you know how important these animals are. They're animals out there suffering because Louisiana doesn't do it right. New Orleans doesn't do it right. That's where the Humane Society of Louisiana steps in to do it right. Jeff Dorson's been trying to do it right, helping for over 35 years. Every May, we have our Humane May fundraiser where we try to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana to save cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, goats. You can go to the website right now, humanela.org, humanela.org, and donate. Please go to the website and donate, and donate generously, humanela.org. You'll be saving animals. You know, I every year about this time of year, few shows, I'll mention this. I mean, it's like year in, year out for like the last decade plus. And the time period just grows. Like for Lincoln Beach, it's over 60 years it's been closed. That people that would live in other cities where they dig a lake, man-made, bring in sand, truck in sand from some real beach, have to maintain that sand and have this fake beach on this lame water somewhere. You know, it's mind-blowing to me. We have this naturally and we freak out about letting people have access to it. Oh, they could drown. It's dangerous. I don't want anyone to drown, but every year in the panhandle of Florida, someone drowns. Every year in Colorado, someone dies while snow skiing. Every year visiting Yosemite, someone dies at the park. I mean, you don't shut down all that because of that. Just hope it doesn't happen, and you set up things to make it not happen. But to have Lincoln Beach shut down, a natural beach on the lake with pretty good water, quality water, shut down for 60 plus years is absolute insanity. But then we double down because we're New Orleans. We have Pontchartrain Beach shut down for 40 plus years, trying to catch you, Lincoln Beach. Wow. And West End Park has been shut down for 2 decades plus now, just about. Going on 2 decades, I guess, this August, in a few months. It'll be 20 years. 20 years, like a generation. Pontchartrain Beach is a few generations. Lincoln Beach, my God, that's like black and white TV, rotary dial phones, the milkman, you know, pre-Vietnam War, just crazy, insane how long that stuff's been shut down. They're talking about Lincoln Beach, have 25 plus million. The city claims they're going to break ground, might have one phase of it open next summer, maybe, and then maybe a second phase the summer after that, maybe get the parking lot and the bridge going. I mean, all the money's there, but it's like this process of years to get it done, which I don't get. Pontchartrain Beach, a great plan was proposed a few years ago and it was shot down. A great plan. Beautiful. Let's go. You know, on the other side of that office park, the beach office park right there by UNO. Well, now there's some West End plans finally. I think some of it's good. Some of it I don't understand. Charles Marcello is the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. He's going to join us in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about West End Park because all of this is important. I mean, Lincoln Beach should have been open 50 years ago as a beach, 60 years ago. To clear out the ride, shut down the amusement park, might lose the beach for a season or two, and then it's reopened. Pontchartrain Beach, same thing. Should have been open in the mid to late 80s as a beach. Going on 40 years of, the beach out there. Instead, not allowed. Yet folks, go around the fencing, go through it, and go to both Lincoln Beach and Pontchartrain Beach and enjoy it. And then it's not illegal to come in on like a boat, a sailboat or a motorboat, and go onto that beach. You just go on land, and people do that from the lake, from a boat. They do it. Now, finally, some West End Park development. Now, all three of these should be rolling. Huge assets for any city. 2 beaches on the lake, 2 beaches with sand on the lake in New Orleans proper, in Orleans Parish. Just ignoring it. No, it just makes your head implode. And then West End Park was once a beautiful place. You know what's crazy about West End Park? People think the 17th Street Canal is the border between Orleans and Jefferson, and for the most part, it is. But for some weird reason, as it approaches the lake, the Jefferson Parish line kind of veers onto the Orleans Parish side of the canal. So the line goes like literally right through the West End parking lot. So places like Brunnings and Fitzgerald's and those places were actually in, quote, Jefferson Parish. But you came in from Orleans, from West End, parked in the parking lot. Depending on where you parked, you were in Orleans or Jefferson Parish in the parking lot. And then you went into the restaurants, which were, you would think in Orleans Parish, but actually they're on the Orleans Parish side of the 17th Street Canal, but they were in Jefferson Parish. So point is, getting Jefferson and Orleans Parish together, working cohesively as a team, by golly. I used that yesterday, Miss Peaches. 2 days in a row, by golly. I'm going to try to squeeze in a darn it later. A darn it. I knew a Fred, darn it. No, actually I didn't. Anyway, yeah, getting Orleans and Jefferson Parish working together, that seems almost impossible. Charles Marcello, Director, West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association, joins us next to talk about the plans. Boy, we could use some rain, huh? A little rain just to get the garden wet. I got my gutters put in October from Audubon Gutters. You should do the same. A no-brainer. The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company, and that's all they do. The name says it all. Audubon Gutters, like Audubon, like a New Orleans company. And gutters, they don't do windows, they don't paint, they don't do construction or roofs, siding. All they do are gutters for your home or business. If you need gutters, audubongutters.com. For nearly 35 years, New Orleans' own audubongutters.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Thanks for why.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Lakeshore family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Lakeshore company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Welcome back, Crescent City. Corey Johnson with you on a hot Wednesday afternoon, but it's really going to get hot tomorrow through the weekend in the 90s. Possibility of feels like temperatures over the weekend north of 100. Ouch. Over 60 years, Lincoln Beach has sat idle. Over 40 years, Pontchartrain Beach has sat idle. Going on nearly 20 years, West End Park has sat idle. Could West End Park finally be coming back? Here's a guy that knows a lot about it. Charles Marcello joins us on the program. He's the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. Charles, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Corey. Great to be on your show. Thank you.
And it's Marcello, like veal Marsala?
Yes, and actually, I had one of the chefs make it with alligator meat, so we also have alligator Marsala on the menu as well now.
And you've knocked the A off, the second A off your name and put an E there, and the last A and put an O, and you scare the hell out of people in Metro New Orleans when you do that. Hey, it's C. Marcello.
Whenever I can't get reservations at a restaurant, they say it's sold out. I mispronounce the name, say it really fast, and the table opens up.
C. Marcello. That's all you got to say.
That's it.
You know?
Said, listen, can you have a reservation? And they go, it's sold out. I go, look, C. Marcello, can you give me a table? Oh, yes, sir, right away.
Yes. And at Mosca's, they got a table waiting for you.
They do.
No charge.
And they have great food there. I move around the city eating at all the Italian restaurants. I'm also president of the Italian American Federation of the Southeast.
Wow.
So I'm having a lot of fun with that, too.
I'll have to get you on. We can talk about Irene's and the Italian Barrel and Fausto's and all these places.
I move around. I try to share it. I know all those people. Two Tonys is a good friend as well. Chef Andrea is the one that put alligator Marsala on the menu. Irene is a wonderful lady with her St. Joseph altar. Her brother Fausto. We've got some great dining and some great pizza places in Harahan as well. I mean, and throughout the city, it's just a mecca for Italian dining in New Orleans.
That's so funny you say that. I was just mentioning last week, we might be the best pizza city in America per capita. I mean, Chicago, New York are giant. We've got 20, 30, 40 fantastic pizza joints. I picked up a pie last week at Z's on Barone. Incredible.
It is amazing what we have. And I just was at Tower Pizza's got a great one.
Yep.
Arahan has a great one. Downtown New Orleans, you got a handful. We do have the best pizza. Venetia's, and Bricato's ice cream right next door. Mantina's. We're just loaded. And as it turns out, all these Sicilians came in starting around 1830, but it really picked up from about 1870 to 1920. And they brought with them the cooking, and it's just been a wonderful thing. What it's called is like a Sicilian fusion with Lake Pontchartrain, and what came out of that is amazing dining. And we've done some stories on that. Actually, I'm on WLAE TV Sunday nights, and we talk a lot about New Orleans culture and also a lot about the Italian culture as well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm admitting I didn't do it for you or your culture, Charles, but about 12 groomsmen in my wedding, and like 7 of them are Sicilian Italian. It's just, I like people and just gravitate towards good people. And like half my friends just happen to be Sicilian.
Well, it is. I told you earlier on the phone, I went to kindergarten, with your sister. And I love you guys, your family. So, I'm glad you hang out with the Sicilians as well.
Olive skin makes good kin, Charles.
It does. Yeah. Actually, and I was the Grand Marshal of the Irish Italian Parade this year.
Wow. Nice, man. Good for you. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I probably know half the people that you're talking about in your wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're just a little, my mom's Syrian, Lebanese. So we're just down the Mediterranean from you guys.
There's a lot of intermarriage between Lebanese and Sicilians. It's very amazing when I talk to people that I have some really good friends that are quarter of each, so yeah. The cultures mixed very well together.
Well, that olive skin, black hair kind of brunette thing. It could be from Spain, Italy, an Arab, Israel, a Jew, North Africa. I mean, anywhere that olive skin, black hair. So yeah, I could see, why they're gravitating over to the different folks in the Mediterranean. Charles, man, I could just talk about this in Italian food and we'll blow off the West End Park thing, but let's talk about the West End Park thing, all right?
I'll be back another day and we'll talk Italian.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm serious. I could do it all day long. I love it. Before we get off of it, one thing I love is a good bolognese. It's hard to find that in the city.
Let me think about that, and I will get back with you. I'll send you a note maybe, and I'll have to run it through my head. But I feel like I eat a lot of spaghetti and Two Tonys. I don't know if you go out to the lakefront much, but that's one of the closest places and that's a good transition sentence to West End.
Yeah. A buddy of mine in radio, Eric Asher, it's like his cousin or something out there. Yeah, I've been to Two Tonys. I need to get back out there. I haven't been in a while. Yeah, I like, I'm trying to think of the Italian joint downtown, the high end one. Pesh, by Pesh.
Oh yeah. There are. You know what? There's another one.
Gianna, whatever. The bolognese is like alligator or wild boar or something like that. I just want some beef and veal. I don't need alligator. I just want some beef or veal.
Yeah, that's Giovanni's. But also there's I'm sure it's still open. It's been downtown. I haven't been back in a while. But Sophia's has a pizza oven, and I went down there with Frank Marcello and some friends and. A while back, and we had a great pizza there, and they've got a great pizza oven going on.
What a nice guy Frank Marcello is. Tell him I said hello.
Will do.
All right. Enough of our chit chat about the great Italian culture, Sicilian culture in New Orleans. West End Park, it's going to be 20 years come August. As a New Orleanian, blows me away that it hasn't been redeveloped. Orleans, Jefferson Parish, sort of. Both sides need to get involved. Tell us what you know, Charles. There's talk of redevelopment, but maybe not what we all think it should be, like where it was, over the water, over the lake. Tell us about everything you know about the West End Park plans and what the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association, what you guys think, the neighborhood.
Well, we did I have a website up called retiefpark.org. Because there used to be Coconut Beach out there, which was on Mickey Retief Park land, a part of Nord. And the idea is that you need recreation. And we're seeing in the last week, both in New Orleans, they opened Hardin Park, and in Jefferson Parish, they put pickleball courts out there. For the last 3 years, since this became a discussion, the locals have been saying how bad we need to replace the Coconut Beach recreation to have a place where we congregate. And we're not getting any support from the elected officials on that. It's really sad. There have been some great proposals, even bocce courts, pickleball, bike rentals. And also, though, we did a survey. 260 people responded, roughly half from Jefferson Parish and half from Orleans. 93% want it just kept as a park. There's 29 heritage oak trees. Most of those would have to be removed to build the restaurants and the commercial building that Councilman Joe Giarrusso envisions out there right now.
Whoa. Slow down a second. What are they envisioning? And you're talking about on the old FDR park?
Yeah, that was, as we researched this in the 30s, that area was originally when the park was opened up in 1921, the land was put in there, filling in the lake in 1914. The roads went in by 1921. In the 30s, on a WPA project, they did a lot of work in the park. They put a bridge in, a lagoon on one side. They put 5,500 rose bushes on the other side, on the west side of the park. And those rose bushes lasted until the 1960s. And then it became a lawn, and then it became a parking lot with shells, and then eventually asphalted over. So that originally, in the creation of the laws, and when he created it, going back to 1910, it said to be a public park or an amusement park. It wasn't just talk about commercial activity.
All right, let's slow down 1 second, just to make sure we're all on the same page, because it's, even though I'm on TV, it's radio and I don't have a map. Are we talking about the old parking lot for the old restaurants at West End, or we're talking across the street?
We're talking about the parking lot. That road did not exist prior to, say, 1950. It cuts the park in half. Okay, the Breakwater Street was added later. The original park was to be that area that it's where the parking lot was that most people remember.
So the park extended all the way to the lake, to the canal.
Absolutely.
And then you had to go all the way around the park to get to the other side.
Correct.
There was no road through there. So the road was put through in the 50s. And they want to build on the land where the parking lot was pre-Katrina?
Correct.
And not across the street where the roadway is and the big park is today.
Well, we're not clear about that, because as I researched this, going back to the 1980s, the Restaurant Association that was there said they needed 2 acres of that green space to be a parking lot because they didn't have enough parking for their customers.
I got you. So you would cross the street from a parking lot, they'd asphalt or concrete part of the park, and you're taking away yet more of the original park pre-1950s, right? Correct.
And, if I used to own part of a few Copeland's franchises. So the situation is, if you build the structure that we're seeing, I asked them at one of the meetings, have you considered how many parking places you need for the people that have the 380 boats at the marina, the people that come to the yacht club, the events at the yacht club?
Yeah. Hang on 1 second, Charles. Hold that thought. I got to take this break. I don't mean to cut you off. We're going to pick it up right there when we come back. Right. Charles Marcello is with us from the West End.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Walk Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Portnola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Lakeshore family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Lakeshore company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Charles Marcello is our guest. He's the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. So Charles, essentially, I didn't mean to cut you off with that break. Take over from where you were. The plan is to build a building or buildings in the old parking lot at West End Park, not on the New Basin Canal at the mouth of the lake, and maybe even put a parking lot across the street to support that building or buildings.
Yeah. And Corey, they are saying that they wouldn't build that parking lot, but they just built an airport, and they didn't include enough parking or a way to get to it. So when you ask them at these meetings, have you figured out how many places you need currently for the needs of the park? They came back saying, well, we can zone that out. And another feasibility study came back and said we could have people park at the Walgreens on Allen Tucson and Lakeshore Drive and be shuttled over.
Please.
And now that's not going to work. And
Was that actually said?
Yes, it is. It's in writing.
That's
proposal. From about 2017.
How many extra parking spots does that lot have for those businesses? There's simple zoning. You have to have so many parking spots to open a business.
You do, and what they did, the logic that they tried to imply was that New Orleans, because of the French Quarter, doesn't have that many parking places for, say, an Antoine's or Galatoire's, because the hotels use it. Jefferson Parish is residential and people drive. So they said you need to use the New Orleans standards for parking and reduce the quantity. But then people are still going to drive to get out there.
Yeah,
They're playing these games that make no sense, because you're going to move 5 acres of the restaurants that were on the water into a 4.3 piece of land, and so that was the parking lot. And that parking lot has 29 oak trees, most of them heritage. So are you going to cut down all the oak trees to try to fit this in?
Yeah.
You know.
Now, what in an ideal world, what does the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association want? You're not against the redevelopment, but you want it on the Jefferson Parish side of the New Basin Canal?
Well, we've looked at a couple of things. The studies that came back, the first 4 studies came back saying the area is now saturated with bars and restaurants. There's like 15 bars or restaurants within a 4-minute or 5-minute walk from where we are. We now have so much opened up on the New Basin Canal, as in Bucktown. Is there a demand? 2 Tonys, you got that area there. Or would you siphon off business from the existing places by just adding 1 or 2 more places? And they're not going to be on the water.
Where are 15 bars? Like if I have a boathouse on West End, where are 15 bars within 5-minute walk?
Well, you got now if you're, I would say, let's say you're in Lake Marina, because not so many people live in the boathouse.
Yeah, let's say the Lake Marina, the towers you're talking about.
Yeah, the towers. If you start there and you go to Sala, you go to Russell's, you got the Chinese restaurant, you got 2 Tonys, you got Felix's, you got Landry's.
Those aren't bars; they're restaurants that just have a bar.
Right. But at the same time, you have outdoor music as well. I mean, if you go in the Bucktown, same thing. You got Melius's, you got a few places. So you got a lot of restaurants. Many of them have a bar as well. Now, whether or not, they're not necessarily hardcore bars like we had Augie's de Lago, but you're right. There are
it's primarily restaurants that have a bar, not a bar that serves food.
Correct. But they do have, outdoor music, and that it tends to lend itself to mainly being a full service bar on weekends.
And real quick, isn't there a whole other topic on that, like existing places that want to increase the volume of outdoor music right now?
That is, and that's being thought because we have amplified sound and amplified noise. It's devaluing a lot of the condos that are in the Lake Marina area.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's a whole other topic, and I want to discuss that before you go. I'm in agreement with you on that. I mean, it's a compromise. It's how loud does it have to be for crying out loud? And you got to disturb.
If we go back historically, Fitzgerald didn't have, the outdoor music, and we're looking right now. A new building is being built in Bucktown, 65 foot tall, with a rooftop deck. It's called, and we know that rooftop bars or decks or whatever are very popular in New Orleans. So if you start building these new buildings 65 feet in the air and you're going to let people congregate on the rooftop, what does that do for the noise across the
where's that building being built?
That building is being built at 1720 Mayan Lane, which is diagonally off of R&O's, and it's right behind the Brown Foundation, which has that planting area.
Yeah.
That's
where the planting area is, it's going there?
No, it's going right behind it.
Right behind. Well, I mean, the Brown building, the condo next door to that kind of fits in with the height of that area, right?
Sure, but the new thing we got is we've been asking for 3 years what vision our elected officials have, and they keep telling us they're going to leave it up to the developers. So now that we're seeing what a 65-foot tall thing could happen, because Joe Giarrusso did raise the allowable buildable height out there to 65 feet.
What was it before?
Really explain why.
What was it before, Charles?
I'm sorry, what?
What was it before?
It was 60.
So he raised it 5 feet.
The extra 5 feet allows a 4th floor.
Gotcha.
So you went from you went from whatever you could do with 3 floors. You now have 33%.
Because
more.
The first floor is elevated. You have like maybe boat slips underneath or something. So it's 4 floors.
Is what they're saying. You might have a parking garage underneath because you got to go 18 feet in the air before you have your first floor.
Gotcha.
building.
Wow, got to go 18 feet. So I got you. All right. So now again, ideally, y'all would want all this built on the Jefferson Parish side of the New Basin Canal,
Well,
where no one would enter
actually,
from the West End Park side, and you'd enter from Bucktown, or that isn't one of your plans.
Actually, Corey, what I'm saying, we've actually been working with the Bucktown people and surveying them. We've had the survey, again, 260 people took it, roughly half and half from 55 questions from each area. And what, we're seeing today, which this week we saw new parks being opened and recreation. The Parks for All survey of New Orleans talked about the need for parks for people with mental health. We have Cornell University's identified 110 species of birds in West End Park as part of a migratory pattern. Eagles are out there. So on our end, it's more like, do we really need to take away that park that serves as a launching spot for birds actually migrating north to the North Shore, that 20-mile flight that they have?
Yeah, it seems like, the existing parking lot from, I guess you're saying, that after the 50s, and the road and building on the water. And I'd like to see it on both sides, the Bucktown side and the Orleans Parish side of the New Basin Canal.
One of the thoughts we suggested was, which I talked to you earlier, Breakwater Park is on Breakwater Drive where the boat launch is. There's 7 acres there, and you could go out into the water. You can't go out into the water anymore because of the pumping station.
See, I don't. Why can't you go out in the water because of the pumping station? The pumping stations is 50, 80 yards back from the mouth of the lake.
The deal is when they turn those pumps on, or if they have to turn the pumps out, the force of the water coming out of there could blow away anything or anything being blown in there.
You put some big concrete piles and you build on the lake like before. I don't care where the pumping station is. It's not knocking anything down. That sounds like more BS excuses to me, Charles. I think I'm not saying that isn't what the Corps is saying. I'm just saying that's nonsense, that you should be able to build over the lake again like you did before. Not on like some, wooden, telephone pole, creosote, pine poles, but something that's like, 2 by 2 feet, 3 by 3 feet concrete pile that goes into the lake bed, and you build something newer, better, nicer that's in the same spot. I don't get all that. But anyway, continue. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, well, actually, there was a boat that did sink out there. The other deal you have with that is, when the water hits that pumping station, it creates I forget what it's called, a whirlpool, not a whirlpool, but something with a backsplash, because you don't have an open canal anymore. So if you don't know what you're doing with your boat, you could be out there when wave action's coming and throwing the waves back at you. So there's probably some safe boating issues as well. But that aside, that's sort of a given right now from the Corps of Engineers, and I don't see them changing that. The other thing is, though,
which is sad because, in Holland, Miami, San Diego, New York, I keep going. They do this everywhere. Hey, let's not utilize the lake or the river. Let's not let people live on the Batch or on the Mississippi River. We are on drugs around here. We're drunk. It's insane.
But the other thing we have is with the pumping station there, that used to be the volleyball courts.
Yep.
That was customers for the restaurant.
Yep.
So now you don't have those customers. So the other economics look at it like, the activity that was there used to be a second bridge when we were young, the Gap Bridge that you could get in from Jefferson Parish. And now you only have one way in and one way out. We know that NOPD was setting up sobriety checkpoints, and that kind of hurt the business. So if you put the business back, when many people have that nostalgia thing, the idea is maybe we need to let that go, because we're not going to go back in time. We're not going to have Coconut Beach. We got a pumping station. We're not going to have the Gap Bridge. We're not going to have it over the water. We're going to have it 20 feet in the air. So we start looking at all those variables. Would it make sense? And we've actually talked to Tabasco at Avery Island, because they have done a great job there with taking pilings over a pond for nesting egrets. So could we make it more accommodating for the pelicans, the eagles, the egrets, and everybody, all the bird species that fish right there?
Of course.
and make it a place where people come. And like I said, Cornell University knows more about it than UNO and Tulane.
No. I'm with you. It's all about
university.
It's working with all of that and some compromise and the like. We're visiting with Charles Marcello. He's the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. More on West End Park plans next.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Welcome back. Wide Open Wednesday. Charles Marcello is with us. He's the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. So, Charles, I guess the biggest problem is building on the old West End parking lot where the parking for Fitzgerald's, Brunnings, all that 20 years ago, building a building there, doing 4 floors instead of 3, possibly eliminating some historic oak trees, and even building a parking lot across the street potentially in the existing park. Those would be the major problems, and loud music coming from restaurants at the new place.
Well, and I will add a couple other things to that. I would also say, the economic feasibility of it, whether or not it fails, like we've got the Lazy Jack that failed, we've got other things that fail. We've got other buildings out there that are blighted. A lot of areas actually blighted. If you drive out there, you'll see along as you come in there. So right now, build something that ends up failing, and then what happens to it? That's a big concern. Other concerns are you take away the park space for people that just want to enjoy a quality of life park. That's another one. But I'd also add, looking at a bigger picture, the complexities of Jefferson Parish and Orleans, the city of New Orleans trying to work together are really, really difficult.
Yep.
They haven't worked out. So why wouldn't Jefferson Parish just want to say, look, we'll build anything we want in Jefferson Parish, and if you want something out there, build it in Breakwater Park, and build it here, so we don't have to continually spend. We're now up to spending $500,000 in legal fees trying to work out an agreement. And rather than keep spending this money so that it makes sense on who the police are going to be, responsibilities, why not just say, well, we each go our separate ways, own rules? And also, there's a lot of grant money that's been available to protect parks on the water. And they have totally, over this period, walked away from it, applying for any of that. And many spent their years, those last 20 years, which has delayed it, trying to change laws to rezone it, change the future land use master plan, put things in the state law to make it happen, where if they'd have just stayed with what they had and said, what do these laws allow us to do? We could have brought it back into public use and put, either some bike racks out there, some recreation, parking lot would have been back up. But because the politicians are so adamant that they're going to make something there, it's 20 years have gone by with nothing.
Yep. No, but I agree with everything you said, but I'd like to see something there as a New Orleanian. I know you neighbors, you boathouse folks, you're used to how it's been the last generation, nothing there, and you'd like it to remain that way. But a lot of New Orleanians grew up with Fitzgerald's and Brunnings and going across that footbridge, and there was what was the seafood joint on the other side? Sidmar's.
Yes.
So you had, all these seafood places on the lake. It was a natural. And I think that needs to be brought back. And ideally, it would be built over the water. And there's got to be a way around that. And if there's not, is there any way that you folks would allow, or not allow, that you would be in agreement of something built on the land if it was pressed up against the New Basin Canal and there was still the existing, a lot of the existing parking lots still there and no oak trees removed?
Yeah, I think we'd be in favor. And I think when you look at that, though, like where Sidmar's is now a Coast Guard station. So I think, when we thought nostalgia and we realized that the Coconut Beach is gone, Sidmar's land is gone, that the government has taken a lot of that spot that we enjoyed and made it, where you don't have the customer base. So if you wanted to do something, the footbridge can't go back in, or it's not really. Jefferson Parish tried like hell to put that footbridge back up, and they couldn't.
Why?
So
why?
Again, with the Corps of Engineers.
What do you mean? It's a 50-yard gap. Not even. It's how many feet? 100 feet?
Now it's different. It's been changed because what they had to do is, remember, all the boats in the old days were up in the 17th Street Canal. Those people can no longer park there.
Jesus, you build a pump station, Army Corps, make it people friendly. Have the bridge part of the pump station, for crying out loud. How often are the pumps on? Never. Once every 500 days. It's unbelievable. It's like the flood wall on Hain Boulevard. And people in New Orleans East have no access to the lake. It's like a prison. It's unbelievable. You can't build a bridge, can't build on the water. I mean, the Army Corps is out of their minds. This is done everywhere in the world.
Corey, my idea is this. You just put 40 acres of new fill at Bucktown Harbor. If you wanted something, they could put a restaurant row out there. They got 40 acres that didn't exist.
No, I get. I think all these areas, the breakwater you were talking about, I think all of it's up for grabs. I'm just trying to find reasonable compromises. Now, the park that exists now across from the parking lot, instead of additional parking going there, would you have a problem with Coconut Beach going there?
No, we again, I'm being Sicilian as we talked earlier. I've been proposing bocce courts.
No, I think that whole, it's like West End and Pontchartrain Boulevard. That neutral ground's a waste. I think out at the, that whatever that park's called, surrounded by the road and the oak trees, there should be all that. Pickleball, volleyball, baseball diamond for the kids. I mean, there's a lot of land that's just sitting there doing nothing and not getting cut. The grass isn't getting cut.
I actually, Corey, went out and bought 2 temporary pickleball courts, set them up in the old parking lot, and we had a pickleball tournament out there. And the next week, the Municipal Yacht Harbor posted no trespassing signs because I was trying to set up precedent that we could use this for recreation. And what their response was to say, you're going to get arrested now if you walk in the park. All right. So I think the bike rentals we've seen now where you can rent bikes all around New Orleans, you'd put a bike rental facility in that parking lot as well. A lot that could be done there.
No, I wasn't cutting you off. That's just Blue Boy barking saying we're running out of time. Hey, Charles, can we revisit on this topic?
Absolutely. Anytime. I sent you a couple of maps and a website.
Yep. Yeah. And stay in touch with me if some bomb's about to drop that the general public doesn't know about. Charles Marcello, Director, West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Boy, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Charles Marcello, Director of West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association. Now, he lives out there. It's his neighborhood. I don't agree with everything Charles is saying, but I think you have to acknowledge what that neighborhood thinks and what they want. And then they have to be flexible. And then the developers need to be flexible. I think you need to work it out, what's best. But boy, the Army Corps, like, there'll never be the little footbridge connecting, Jefferson and Orleans over the canal. That's why. And then because of the pumping station, that you can't build over the water because of the pumping station. This is nonsense. This is total BS and nonsense. How does Amsterdam do it, or New York, or all these other cities? I mean, we run from building on the water, from embracing the water. There might be it's crazy. They're 1.2 million in Metro New Orleans. Maybe 1,000 people. Maybe 1,000 people live on the lake and the river. Maybe 2,000 tops. I mean, a total stretch. Seriously, 1.2 million in the Metro. And in Orleans and Jefferson Parish, maybe 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 tops live on the lake or the river. I mean, Kenner, Rivertown, and the lakefront, they did a study. They did the right thing. They hired an outside company with outside views and a record of going into different places and redeveloping a riverfront, waterfront, whatever. One of the first things they said, I mean, this is like kindergarten. Hey, why don't you have houses and condos and apartments? Why aren't people living
on the levee side of the river, the Batcher, in the Batcher. I'm talking to a buddy of mine. He goes and visits a friend who has a company on the river. They have like 40 acres of land on the levee side of the river in the Batcher. And it's just like an industrial site. I'm like, put that up or down the river, like in Plaquemine or upriver, away from the population center, and build condos and apartments and shops and riverfront stuff. I should be going down River Road in Jefferson Parish and in New Orleans and going right up on the riverfront. I mean, all of us living will be gone. All of us. I don't care if you have a kid. But one day, the Port of New Orleans will abandon the Napoleon Street Terminal, which basically goes from the Butterfly on the riverfront all the way past Napoleon Avenue. Hell, it goes all the way to Felicity. The container terminal doesn't. The container terminal basically like Nashville to Napoleon. But port facilities go from like the Butterfly on the riverfront all the way to Felicity Street. It must be 3 miles of riverfront. One day, that'll be one of the most incredible neighborhoods in the world. When you're on Tchoupitoulas driving by the flood wall, at some parts, the river's like 6 blocks in. It's way in. Some parts, it's a little closer. If, believe it or not, on the other side of that flood wall, there's the McHenry Trucking Road. It's a 4-lane road that's paved and nicer than Tchoupitoulas, which is paved. But it's twice the size of Tchoupitoulas, 4 lanes. And you can enter at Felicity. It goes all the way to Nashville. It's for trucks. It keeps them off Tchoupitoulas. It was a brilliant idea. But that road should be leading to neighborhoods. And, I mean, it's hundreds of acres. So one day, that'll be a neighborhood. But right now, it's a port facility. There are parts of the lake like Lincoln Beach, Pontchartrain Beach, which should be open for recreation. And West End Park should be reopened. And there should be pickleball courts and Coconut Beach volleyball again and all that. And there should just be a handful of places like before, a Brunnings, a Fitzgerald's, a Sidmar's, right there on the lake, like the seafood places right there on the lake. The shrimpers are bringing it in, crabbers are right there, and it goes right to your plate. It was pretty tough to beat. No, there needs to be a way to work this out where everyone's happy. And you don't want to jam some monstrosity down the West End Lakeshore Park neighborhood folks' throat. But also, going from 60 feet to 65, which adds another floor. Instead of 3 floors, it'd be 4. Maybe there needs to be some compromise. The developers don't need to be cutting down oak trees. I mean, New Orleans has a tree problem right now. We don't have enough trees. We should be the luscious, greenest city in America. We have an 18% tree canopy. Atlanta, Georgia has 47%. Someone explain that to me. How Atlanta, Georgia nearly has 3 times the tree canopy, 2.5 plus times what we have in New Orleans. That's insane. We should be much lusher, greener, plusher, tropical. All over New Orleans should be trees, shade, flood mitigation. There's no downside to it. So no, they don't need to be cutting down old oak trees. Work around them. And the Corps building the pumping station. You don't build a bridge for pedestrians on top of the pumping station because the pumping station's never working. It works when there's a hurricane hitting and they have to lower the water table in the canal. That's the only time it works. Once a year, once every 3 years, once every 5 years. Hell, they don't use the pumps so often, like never use them, that they actually rust and rot. You remember the ones on the London Avenue Canal? They went to test them one time, like, boy, they're all rusted and rot because they never use them. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be there. I'm not against flood protection. It should just be more people friendly. You build a pumping station, you have a bridge over it that used to be there, connecting, each side of the Orleans and Jefferson Parish side of that 17th Street Canal by the lake, just like before, a pedestrian bridge. You don't say, can't build a bridge, can't build on the water. Just crazy. No, I mentioned an example, that flood wall along Haine. Anyone that lives in the East would be a fool not to want it. But the design, not costing a penny more, could have easily been people-friendly, where there's a walkway and there's benches and there's lights and you can see the lake. Make it people friendly. That's loco. And then you can't build on the lake. You can't come on, Army Corps. Everywhere they build over the water. And in New Orleans, we are like scared of the lake and the river. I'd love to live on the river Batcher, on the river. Are you kidding me? Those like 8 houses right by the parish line, like one of them's in Orleans and like 7 or 8 of them are in Jefferson Parish. River Road, right at, by Snow Wizard, right when you cross in from Orleans Parish into Jefferson Parish. There's a bunch of houses, 8 or 10 folks living on the river. I've visited folks living there. It's incredible. Living right on the Mississippi River. No one's worried about a boat crashing into their house or flooding their house or the rough river knocking their house in the water. These camps have been there forever. So no, we had a bunch of camps on the lake, especially way out in the Far East, past like, Paris Road and Haine, and the hurricane knocked them out and they've never been rebuilt. Why wouldn't you rebuild them? Why wouldn't you rebuild them? So no, we run from the lake and the river instead of embracing it, where other cities, have you been to San Antonio? You seen the San Antonio River? You could pole vault across the San Antonio River. It's a canal. That's all it is. It's about 20 feet wide. They made it, nice brick or slate, and it's just a canal. But people like being on the water, and there are restaurants and cafes, and you're right on this San Antonio River. We put walls up and keep you away from the water. It's crazy. We don't work with it. We work against it. And West End Park's been sitting idle for almost 20 years now, and probably will continue to be. And yeah, Charles was right when he said Jefferson and Orleans Parish working together and seamlessly getting this done. No, very, very difficult. No one in Orleans Parish wants to be part of Jefferson, work with Jefferson, share resources. And no one in Jefferson Parish wants to be part of Orleans, share resources. None of that. Can't even get like RTA and JET, the same thing. If I was like, hey, the NOP, the Jefferson Parish Sheriffs, let's have just one police force. People in Orleans would be like, no way. And people in Jefferson would be like, no way. Louisville, Kentucky, annexed 6-8 counties around Louisville. And they got rid of the Kenner Police Department and the Jefferson Parish Police and the, Gretna and they just one police force, one fire department, one everything. No, it's more efficient. Everyone wins. But here, Orleans and Jefferson, no one from either parish wants to work with the other. It's like taboo. Crazy. Now, that was a good visit with Charles Marcello, getting the neighbors' viewpoint of that West End Park potential plan. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, you're right. Coming right back. A full slate, a lot more to discuss.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Hello. Welcome back. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. Dial us up, 766-9480. Miss Peaches fielding your phone calls. I think I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. I thought I did. What did I do with those questions? I'll find them. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. NASA, the feds are cutting NASA's budget by 25%, from like $25 billion to like $19 billion. The cuts would phase out the Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft, both built out at Michoud in the East. Like that could be going away. And they're going to sub this out, the moon landing, going to Mars, to like SpaceX or Origin or one of these private companies that launches people into space. So jobs out at Michoud could be in jeopardy. Michael Heck will join us in 2 days on this program. Every Friday, Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc. We've got a lot to discuss with him because this is scary. One of the few manufacturing gigs we have in Metro New Orleans is Michoud. It's super high-end, hyper-technical manufacturing, building rockets and engines that put capsules that put man on the moon and beyond. And now it's all going in another direction. No, it could be, besides hundreds of jobs just being eliminated, it's hundreds of white-collar jobs, people that own a big house and have nice cars and go spend money at restaurants and clothing stores and go to the mall and spend money and spend money and spend money. And these folks are going to go, they're engineers, they're specialists. They're going to go somewhere where they can get a job in their field, and it's not in Metro New Orleans. Probably not in Louisiana. So this is brutal, something to keep an eye on. Former Baton Rouge Mayor Kip Holden passed away, just 72 years old. I found that kind of shocking. When I was a student at LSU, I worked at Kadare's on Florida Boulevard on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then I'd add some days when I could and earn some money selling TVs and stereo equipment and video cameras. Kadare's back then, and people were buying film and getting film processed, photos processed. They did a great job doing that. So I worked over there, and I remember Kip Holden was a house rep in Baton Rouge. And he pulled up in like a Good Times machine, one of those vans, the Good Times machine. And he bought a 19-inch Mitsubishi television. It wasn't the 26-inch. That was the big boy back then. It was a 19-inch. I think it was like a bedroom. It was a BTV, not for the den. But I remember selling Kip Holden a Mitsubishi TV and meeting him. Yep.
I remember that. It's a big one.
Yep. Yeah, they made the big tube. Yeah, and then his rear projection and all that stuff. Anyway, Kip Holden passing away at 72. Speaking of Baton Rouge, T-Bob Hebert used to join us on the program Tuesdays with T-Bob. The reason I got him on was simple. He knew what he was talking about, and he was entertaining. He didn't have some chip on his shoulder. He wasn't some sports geek that wasn't entertained. He just wanted to talk facts, and they got mad if he thought you didn't know what he knew or some kind of craziness like that. Not a whacked, warped ego. T-Bob Hebert, Bobby Hebert's son. He's been doing morning Baton Rouge sports talk for about 7 or 8 years now. He will have his final day Friday. He and his family, they're moving to Chicago. Barstool Sports has hired T-Bob Hebert out of Baton Rouge. I love it. He's earned it. He's talented. He knows sports. And most importantly, like him or not, he's entertaining. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He knows what he's talking about with sports. Very knowledgeable. He likes the talk radio medium. He likes interacting with people, likes doing interviews, likes talking, can talk about an array of topics. So, no, the key is he's entertaining, and he doesn't have a warped ego. So, no, he earned it. T-Bob Hebert, I'm guessing about 36, 37 years old, probably, going to Chicago and hooking up with Barstool Sports. That's just great. I mean, in my profession in New Orleans, some TV folks have gone on. Look at Sheba Turk. She's like weekend morning anchor now in Los Angeles. Went from like a reporter to morning anchor. She's just moving up in LA. She's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, making some great money. T-Bob Hebert probably making about 3 or 4 times what he made in Baton Rouge. And is Chicago more expensive than Baton Rouge? Sure. But it's not like New York or San Francisco. Chicago, I guarantee you, New Orleans, living uptown or living in a bunch of New Orleans neighborhoods, more expensive than living in Chicago per square foot, the house. I bet you right now. New Orleans is expensive living Orleans Parish. It ain't cheap living in Orleans Parish. Cheaper to live in Houston, Dallas, or Atlanta, generally speaking, than living in Orleans Parish. And Chicago isn't like, boy, you moved to the big city, Chicago. He's going to make 3-4 times what he made in Baton Rouge, and his cost of living might go up like 20% or something, 30%. Lifestyle may go up a lot more, but No, T-Bob Hebert is entertaining, and you don't see it very often. The Sheba Turks, especially in radio. Radio hires from within. You know, they hire somebody who's like a reporter, or the weekend sports guy. We're going to put him on in the weekday now. We like him. Now, never forget a local guy, he's going to go nameless, hard worker, busted his tail, worked at a local station down the dial, and was seeking a job in another market, and basically had this job in Dallas. Which is, I told him, I said, dude, it's impossible what you're doing, and you're doing it. I'm so happy for you. You know, he's doing it right. They flew him up there. He interviewed with him. They're going to fly him back. All of a sudden, it's like on a Friday, he's like, got the job. Then he doesn't hear from him Monday. Doesn't hear from him Tuesday. He doesn't hear from him Wednesday. Calls him like by the middle of the week. They kind of ignore him. Finally gets in touch with the guy. What's up, man? Bad news. You know, we talked to your boss. She didn't have anything good to say about you. So this guy's boss, because she's got some mental issues or insecurities or doesn't want to see a good guy advance. I don't know what it is. It's wrong. I can tell you that. Just blew up this guy's chance to go to Dallas and do what he does there. And no, just sinful behavior. So that's a rarity. But there's, you know, we rarely see local people move on to big time. Hoda Kotb. I mean, there's just not a whole lot of examples. So seeing T-Bob hook up with Barstool Sports in Chicago, no less, fantastic. Congratulations. That's as good as it gets. All right. Since we're talking a little bit about sports, that's what T-Bob does. This is as bad as it gets. The late Pete Rose reinstated to baseball, which means he could maybe get in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't think that's going to happen. The all-time baseball hits king does not belong in the Hall of Fame. Gambling and more, no remorse, not contrite. No, Pete Rose needs to stay where he is. I mean, the old Black Sox from 1919, the gambling scandal, they've all been reinstated. Now, shoeless Joe Jackson, I think he hit like 600 during the series or something ridiculous. Like maybe he didn't participate. I mean, there needs to be some investigation into that. Maybe they already know who legitimately is part of that and who isn't, but I don't think a bunch of those White Sox players that admitted to, you know, fixing the World Series should ever go in the Hall of Fame. And Pete Rose, the gambling, hooking up with the like 15 or 16-year-old girl when he was like in his late 20s, early 30s and married with kids. But besides that, the girl's like 15 or 16, you know. But no, just like I said, no remorse and not contrite in the least bit. So no, Pete Rose, I like the word belongs, does not belong in baseball's Hall of Fame. 766-9480. No, it's sad. The hits leader doesn't belong in baseball's Hall of Fame. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. A last sports topic. The Jets release punter Thomas Morstead. Hey, New Orleans Saints, you had 5 victories last year. This guy is like 39 years old, and it will go down as like one of the top 15 punters of all time in NFL history. He kicked the onside kick against Indianapolis in the Super Bowl to start the second half. No, more. I don't know if Morstead's a Hall of Famer as a punter. He's pretty darn close. But he is even though he's a punter, he's a New Orleans fan favorite. He lives in New Orleans with his wife and his kids, and they got a bunch of kids. They love New Orleans, love it. And neither one's from here. They're both from Texas.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Lakeshore family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Lakeshore company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
A little early on the speeches. No big deal. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're right. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Corey Johnson back at you. Miss Peaches, I did it again. I got that black bag of smart food, which should be called dumb food, that popcorn. It's called smart food, the white cheddar. First off, they should just take tape. Literally like kind of white tape.
Right.
And says crack. They just put that right over the smart food label. Because that stuff is addictive. I'm assuming like crack cocaine is. I ate the big bag the other day in like a day. I ate half of it like after lunch, and then I ate the other half like after dinner.
Oh boy.
It's probably about 7 or 8 servings. So I ate like 3 or 4 servings. And then, each serving's like, I don't know, I did probably like 400 or 500 calories each time. So like 1,000+ calories. So the popcorn can't be heavy on calories, but it's the cheddar cheese stuff, that's the heavy calorie stuff. But anyway, yeah, two things. It shouldn't be smart food. It should be dumb food. It says 70 calories a cup. You know how many a cup is for popcorn? Think about a cup.
About that.
A cup is, 8 ounces?
Yeah.
Or 16 ounces a cup? I guess a cup's 16 ounces, right?
Oh, I thought it was 8, but okay, maybe 16. Okay. Let me see.
Like a Mardi Gras cup is a cup, I think.
Yeah, that's typically.
I think that's 16 ounces. I mean, this water bottle is 23.
8 ounces per cup.
8 ounces per cup?
1 cup is 8 ounces.
Wow, that's terrible. So, okay, so 1 cup is 8 ounces. I guess a pint is 8 ounces too. So a cup and a pint are the same thing. So 8 ounces. That's that little glass. The little glass that's maybe 5 inches tall.
A juice glass.
Like a juice glass.
Mm-hmm.
That's 70 calories of the cheddar popcorn. How many kernels of popcorn fit in that juice glass? I mean, Larry, you could count them in about a minute, right?
Yeah.
It's not like 100.
That doesn't seem
It's like 30 or 35 is 100. So each piece of popcorn's probably, about 2 or 3 calories because it's just loaded with cheese instead of being like water, almost no calorie. Anyway, the stuff is addictive. It's like crack cocaine. I'm assuming. I've never seen or done crack.
What's that powder?
It is. No, that stuff. I don't even lick it off my finger. It's like Cheetos. I go wash my hands. It's like concrete.
Nice.
It's thick. It's like you have little paws all of a sudden. It's like, geez, and it doesn't come off over the water easily. I'm like, there's like a glue in this cheese. I mean, but the label, it seems like there's no preservatives and it's, like one of the least processed things. Yeah, but the cheese does have a lot of fat in it and crap like that.
It's got protein.
Yeah, I guess.
There you go.
Anyway, smart food is dumb food and it should be called crack. Stay away from the white cheddar smart food popcorn. No, it's addictive, that crap. I have bought the big bag before, Miss Peaches, and zoned out on the sofa. And when I kind of woke back up from my, slumber, I'm just like popping the popcorn in my mouth, just way beyond like thinking about it tastes good and enjoying it, just habit. I went and dumped the damn thing in the garbage, the whole bag, like half the bag. Didn't throw it in the garbage because I might go dig the damn bag out the garbage.
Right.
I poured it out. I mean, I was almost going to put like, dishwashing detergent on it. Seriously. So no way for you to go in there and eat it out of the garbage.
Make sure.
I'm telling you, man. I was so pissed. I was like, God, dude, because when I eat it now, I think about it. I'm like, tastes good. I'm trying to enjoy it, so I eat less. Yeah. But I wasn't even thinking about his peaches or even enjoying. I'm just like, eating it like,
Just eating it.
Yes, just eating it to eat it. And it pissed me off. And I went and dumped the whole thing out.
Not smart.
Nope, not smart at all. Yeah, the late Pete Rose reinstated to baseball. I could not believe that. Gambling and more, no remorse, never apologizing, never telling the whole truth. Still in like a little denial, like believing his own BS. And just sort of an unsavory character. Like instead of running as far from gambling as possible, he embraces it after baseball. He embraces gambling. Everything's gambling in his life. It's either talking about gambling on the radio or on some podcast or sitting in front of a casino and signing memorabilia. No, if Pete Rose would have already been in the Hall of Fame. While he was alive, he would have been inducted. While he was alive, he would have been maybe managing or consulting with teams, being in Major League Baseball. All he had to do is come clean decades ago, and he would have been reinstated. And show some remorse. Don't run towards the gambling. Don't embrace the, that side of it, especially when that's what got you ousted from baseball. Doesn't matter that the climate has changed. Gambling's accepted. I mean, he was like 100% in on gambling, nothing else. It's crazy. No, but just the not coming clean, sort of an unsavory character, not an honorable guy. I mean, who would believe Pete Rose? Who would trust Pete Rose? Seriously. So, in my opinion, the all-time hits leader does not belong in baseball's Hall of Fame. Does not belong. 766-9480. Yeah, the Jets release punter Thomas Morstead. Hey, Saints, sign him already. 39 years old, great for the locker room, a seasoned vet. He's got like a year left. I mean, he was going to punt for the Jets. If the Jets wouldn't have released him, he'd be punting for the Jets this year, and I would think his swan song year. He's like 39 or 40. He signed a 2-year deal with the Jets a little over a year ago, so I don't see him, at age 40, hey, let me continue my NFL career. Maybe he would. Who knows? Maybe he would have a great year this year coming up, and some team would want to sign him because he's that good. Top 10, top dozen, top 15 all-time NFL punters. Got a Super Bowl ring, contributed majorly, not just good punting, that onside kick in the Super Bowl. So I think a great move for the Jets. Even though he's just a punter, he's not like some impact specialist, like he's a specialist, but not like a wide receiver, cornerback, like a, athlete type talent, like skill position, I should say. He's not a corner, he's not a wideout, he's not a running back. But he's beloved by fans in New Orleans. And he and his wife and their kids live in New Orleans. They love New Orleans. They're not going anywhere. Their families have moved to New Orleans. They love New Orleans. And he's still a damn good punter. I'm the Saints. I signed Thomas Morstead yesterday. And you have him compete with the young guys, and the best man wins. And that's that. But I don't think there's a downside. If he wins the job, he wins it. He's 39, so he's an elder statesman. He's great for the locker room. The guy's a competitor. And as a punter, you'd think he's a tight end or a quarterback. He hits the weights, the gym, like a gym rat. He's not some, 6 foot tall, 180-pound punter that doesn't have any muscles or six-pack and just, punts the ball really well. He punts the ball really well, and he works out like a fiend. He's a fan favorite. He's great for the locker room. I don't see any downside if you're the Saints. Seriously. Minimum contract, incentives if he makes the team, incentives if he averages this, incentives if he does that. The Saints are a 5-win team. They could use all the help they can get. And Thomas Morstead, he's not going to, hey, I'm only signing if I'm guaranteed the job. He'll go in there and compete. If a rookie or a young kid beats him out, that's it. He gets beat out. If not, he's the punter. No brainer. No brainer. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. This isn't a topic that I want to bring up with Michael Hecht on Friday, but I have to. It's not good news. The federal cuts to NASA, like 25%, reducing NASA's budget from $25 billion to like $19 billion. And the cuts would phase out the Space Launch System rocket and the Orion space capsule, both presently being built at Michoud in the East. So we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of high-paying white-collar jobs, coveted jobs that we don't have enough of. So I don't know how we stop this hemorrhage. Michael Hecht will join us on Friday. It's way above my pay grade. We'll see what he says about it. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Hey, Katie's in Mid-City with that patio. Enjoy the outdoor dining while you can. Right now, like after 7:30, especially in that patio, cool and comfortable at Katie's. But soon you'll have to be dining indoors because summer's right here. Iberville, corner Tallahassee, a mid-city mainstay. New Orleans specialties, old school, and big portions, great for sharing. Everybody loves Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, as New Orleans as it gets. Katie's in Mid-City. 88 degrees on this Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, looks like we're going to have, or I should say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 90s. And could have some feels like 100 plus. Summer's here. Our Humane May fundraiser is here. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. You pet owners especially, you know how important those pets are, those animals are. They're like family members. There are a lot of animals struggling in this state, in New Orleans Metro. The Humane Society of Louisiana is there to help. Please donate to our fundraiser right now. Go to their website, humanela.org.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Lakeshore family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Lakeshore company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday.
Trey N.
Yeah, you're right. No, Miss Peaches, you don't jump off stoops anymore. I learned that like 20 years ago the hard way. Sorry, like anybody, when you turn like 35 plus, like the 3 or 4 steps to someone's house and they got the little 2 concrete pads on the side that's like house level, that might be at the most 30 inches. They're not 3 feet. I don't think it's a yardstick tall. 30. You can't jump off those. When you hit 35 plus, do not jump off those things.
Nobody tells you, though.
No, they don't. I'm telling you right now, though, Miss Peaches, I learned the hard way. Like I almost blew out an ankle.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus, like, it's only 30 inches, but I felt like, I was like, my hands were like separated, my legs were separated. So I felt like I jumped out of an airplane. It took like 18 minutes to hit the ground. No, because it was such a long jump for someone 35 plus. It was 28, maybe 30 inches of height.
They just never tell you this when you.
No, they don't tell you that.
No one. You don't expect this. This comes out of nowhere.
No, and here's another one too. You athletes that like stopped really being active like at 25, and then you're like, I'm going to go play soccer, flag football at 40, and you hadn't done anything in like 15 years. It's called an ACL. You're going to just blow that thing out. It's called an Achilles.
Oh, my goodness.
Just rip that tendon. I mean, you can't cut left and right. You can't play Alvin Kamara at 40 when you haven't played Alvin Kamara since you were 25. You can't go left and right. Another one, no hard court tennis court. If you're going to play tennis, do not play on a hard court if you're 35 plus. Never. You plant your foot on a hard court, it stops. Your ankle, your knee, your hip takes all the impact. On a clay court, your foot slides like 3 or 4 feet. You slide across. The impact's on the court. So now I remember I played hard court tennis one time and like barely could walk the next day. My knees, my ankles, my hips were just like shot. It's like, holy smokes. Yeah, once you turn 35, there's certain things you can no longer do. Yep. I was going to bring some alcohol into the conversation, but it's really not applicable. I know too many people, all 35 plus, that can consume so much alcohol.
That didn't change.
No. I got a buddy of mine. I'm telling you, Miss Peaches, this guy like quit for like a year. He's just strong mentally. Yeah, one guy comes up to him and goes, his father's friend who's kind of wealthy, he's like, I'll give you 10 grand if you lose 50 pounds in 90 days. He lost 50 pounds in 45 days.
Oh.
Got the 10 grand. About 30 days later, he gained like 30 back, and the guy was so pissed. He's like, man, I did it, whatever.
That's a great incentive, though. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's 10 grand. He lost it in 45 days.
Would not eat.
All he did, he walked every day a lot. And he ate brown rice and chicken breast and like salmon for 45 days. And the weight just came off of him.
Incentive.
Lost 50 pounds in 45 days. Got $10,000 and gained 30 of it back like in a month. And the guy saw him and was so pissed.
Well, he ate good after he had the 10 grand.
No, totally. But this guy is just mentally can do anything. He quit drinking and he liked to drink. He could drink like a case of beer in a day, literally like a case of beer. He could drink 30 beers in a day, start drinking like 10 in the morning, and then could, on his property, get on like the tractor and cut the grass or cut a tree or like, I'm not recommending that. I'm just telling you, like, he wasn't like drunk or loaded. Like if I was bleeding to death and I saw the 24 beer cans, I'd be like, you're driving, get me to the hospital. And I wouldn't be worried about him wrecking. I'm not recommending any of this. I'm just saying this is how he is. So this cat stops drinking for like a year. I remember we go down to the quarter, hadn't had a drink in a year. I'm with the crew. We start doing shots. He's doing the shots. I'm just like nursing a beer. He's drinking like, double Jack Daniels and Cokes or something. Double Jack Daniels on the rocks. He knocked out about half a fifth. And I'm telling you, he was still coherent and wasn't like totally just hammered. I'd be passed out. I'd be getting my stomach pumped at the hospital. Yeah. He just can grind through it, just crazy. No, me, I got to drink beer only or red wine only or vodka only. I had a buddy who would start off with like Corona, switch to champagne, go to red wine, and then he's drinking like vodka or gin after that. I'm like, I would just be projectile throwing up all over the place. I just can't mix that stuff. Plus, I mentioned like that's like 5 or 6 drinks. It's like that's too many drinks for me right now. Corona, champagne, red wine, vodka, or gin. I'm like, holy smokes, man! Just
stomach of steel or something.
And I'm telling you, stomach's like a steel trap. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour and you're concerned about West End development, for it or against it, Charles Marcello joined us, kind of getting the angle from the neighborhood. He's the director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association, talking about finally redeveloping West End Park. He joined us around 4:20. So if you go to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. By the way, click to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. About 12, 15 minutes in, for about 25, 30 minutes, Charles Marcello, director of the West End Lakeshore Park Civic Association, talking about this potential West End Park plan. And again, getting it from the neighborhood perspective, from the neighbor perspective, not the developer. Anyway, pretty interesting stuff. Tomorrow, Thursday, boy, the week's just flying by. It's crazy. Already Thursday? Unbelievable. Yeah, tomorrow, the usual crew on Thursday. Bradley Sneller from Stacked Coaching. We'll check in with Jeff Dorson. Our Humane May fundraiser going on right now. Please go to humanela.org right now and donate $5, $10. Help us reach the goal of $10,000 by the end of the month. We got about 2 weeks to hit that $10,000 goal. And we're only at about $1,300, $1,400 right now. So we're literally like $8,600 away from hitting our $10,000 goal. We really need your help. You pet owners especially. You know how important they are. Listen to Blue Boy barking up a storm. What's that, buddy? Imploring folks to go to humanela.org and donate. Blue Boy, you're the best. Thanks, Miss Peaches. Thanks for watching and listening. See you mañana, 4 o'clock.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.